Welcome to Dan the Wolfman's Flicker Connection. How to survive in South Central, a place where busting a gap is fundamental. No, you can't find the shit in a handbook, so take a close look at a rap book. Why did I just say that? We'll get to that in a little bit later with Ice Cube, because today we're talking about the 13 gritty LAPD corruption movies and TV shows that you can watch for free, and I'm going to tell you when. So I'm going to get my little Darren Van Dam action on, guys, and we're talking about LAPD and the LA Sheriff's County from the hard gang wars and crack wars from 1988 all the way to 2012 in the movies, and going on a little bit later with some of our TV shows. So this is spurred on a little bit by PoPoMedic's recent LAPD gangs and the LAPD crash videos I just happened to watch, and a couple of these I always liked watching back to back. Plus, guys, I was a SAG actor and stuntman, so MMA fighter turned SAG actor and stuntman, commentator, pro wrestler, done all kinds of crazy shit, turned a professional old guy, gun tuber, trying to get y'all to watch my videos. Would be great if you watched that little Moroku snub and commented, or like the third gen Smith & Wesson autos that fit in really well with some of these movies. You might want to go back and live some Smith third gen stuff. So anyway, these movies, most of these, almost all of these, will be available for free. I'm going to tell you where to watch them. So we will get into it here in just a minute, but something new that I've done is get your local library card. I just picked up the Dune book to try and read again. To sign up for Hoopla and Canopy, I'm just starting to do that. You only get a few different ones per month. Maybe until the end of the month you get some more. But it is a great place to actually watch movies without a ton of commercials, okay? And the best free place other than Hoopla and Canopy is going to be Tubi. Tubi is going to be your best with the least like bad placement of commercials, and if you got to, you go to Roku and then Pluto at last, kind of is the way to do things, guys. So anyway, the first movie, starting out with LAPD and how hard it was, Colors, 1988. It's available on Tubi, Roku, and YouTube free. YouTube free stuff, guys. Gonna have bad commercial placement. Starring Sean Penn and Robert Duvall. It's got an IMDb rating of 6.7. I haven't watched this one in a little while, so I need to go back and in chronological order in the years that the LAPD in certain divisions were portrayed, okay? So to understand where things, and they had to fight crime, and to a certain level I'm okay with that until they start becoming drug dealers themselves. Colors, 1988. So you got Tubi, Roku, and YouTube free. Number 2, Internal Affairs, 1990. Rated 6.5, starring Richard Gere and Andy Garcia. So that would be a good one to check out. Possibly with a Japanese rain movie as well, but that was probably a different video if this is popular. Then Dark Blue, 1992. That's available for free on Hoopla, okay. It's also on Tubi, would be your next avenue. Then Roku, then probably Pluto and YouTube. That one's starring Kurt Russell and Scott Speedman. Speedman is my fellow lycanthrope from those Underwood movies, playing the werewolf. Kurt Russell, also, I seem to have a lot in common with him and Goldie Hawn as far as all of the aerial activity I've been subjected to for the past 14 and a half months. And my videos, indeed, have been found credible by the head of the congressional committee and kicked up to DOD, and now no one will get back to me. So that's awfully interesting as the world collapses. Okay, next up will be Extreme Justice. Dark Blues, yeah, Tubi, Pluto, Roku, and Hoopla. So go to Hoopla, guys. Get your library card on. Extreme Justice. That would have, Dark Blue was 1992, right at the beginning of the Rodney King riots. Extreme Justice, 1993. 5.7 rated. But I'm going to go back and watch this because it's about the SIS, Special Investigations Section, with Lou Diamond Phillips and Scott Glenn. I did have lunch on a cowboy movie, and he sat by just me, no one else, and we talked Lou Diamond Phillips. Seemed like a nice guy. Seems like all these famous actors are like, kid, you got to lose 20 pounds. You're a good-looking kid. And then, probably, Hollywood trying to get up my... but that's the way it is. I don't know if he was. I mean, I like La Bamba, don't get me wrong. I'm just being trying to be animated here. But I did have lunch with Lou Diamond Phillips, and he did seem like a nice guy. And for a Filipino, is good at playing Native Americans. So, anyway, That's available on Tubi, guys. A lot of these are, most of these are available on Tubi, which is like the best free streaming. I'm watching a lot of like Korean movies and Hong Kong movies. Some of them just left. Choi Yun Fat, Hard Boiled, Better Tomorrow 2, all that kind of great action. Okay, number 5, chronologically and when they portray, The Glass Shield, 1994, rated 6.1, starring Michael Boatman and Ice Cube. Yo, Ice Cube, get my opener? Okay, so there we go, The Glass Shield. I'm sure I've seen it. Most of these I've seen multiple times. I don't remember that one, but I've probably seen it, but it is highly rated as like an indie movie for their performances. So there we go with The Glass Shield. Available on Pluto and Roku. Number 6, available on Tubi, Rampart, starring Woody Harrelson. It would have taken place in 1999, so you're getting to see LAPD or LA Sheriff's County from 88 to like 2012, okay, in the movies. Rampart, 99, Woody Harrelson, rated 5.8, and Ned Beatty. Woody Harrelson, everybody kind of knows him, you know, getting your cheers on, but of course his dad was definitely an assassin, probably worked for, you know, the 3-letter agency that did things. Once when he was surrounded by police, claimed he was involved in the JFK assassination. He is the first person to knock off a federal judge, and he's probably also the dad of Matthew McConaughey. So Woody Harrelson's dad and Matthew McConaughey's dad. Interesting how often Hollywood is tied into dirty things and agencies and whatnot. Okay, I think that one got pretty gritty, pretty violent, if I remember correctly. And maybe something, you know, you got to be kind of stone cold ready to handle watch some of these movies. So there's my warning. That's available on Tubi. Number 7, Training Day 2001. We got my man Denzel Washington rocking those Smith 3rd Gen Dual 45s. All right. 7.7, Denzel and Ethan Hawke. Unfortunately, Training Day is not available for free anywhere. It is a Stars add-on, and we'll wrap that up a little bit later. It's also pay on Amazon Prime. All right, number 8, A Man Apart, taking place in 2003. We're dropping down to a 6.0 rating, but pretty good action, if I remember correctly, with the man Vin Diesel and Lorenz Tate. I recognize Lorenz Tate name. I think I might have done... He might have been in a short film I did on a Fox show called On the Lot, where Carrie Fisher literally would have watched my short on me on the big screen as the judge. I think he might have actually been one of the LAPD cops as I was, of course, a racist dude beating a dude with a stick, but in a bathroom, but not sure about that. But anyway, Denzel, 7.7. I've always hoped he's a good guy. Some things he says are really good guys, but he's also given medals with the really, really nasty guys, the nasty people that have probably done really, really nasty things to really... Anyway, there we are, Training Day. Great movie. Number 8, A Man Apart, Amazon Prime. I'm sorry. We did Man Apart, Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel, Jiu-Jitsu. Is he a blue belt? He was back when I first went into Hollywood Beverly Hills Jiu-Jitsu Academy. So he was a blue belt back then. Is he a brown or a black belt now? I think he might be a black belt now. I think it's his cousin. That's definitely a black belt. But I don't really get on... I don't do the Facebook thing anymore because, you know, F them. But anyway, yeah, Vin Diesel, Jiu-Jitsu, used to be a bouncer. You know, actually a better actor than people give him credit for. It's too bad he couldn't have actually done more of that, like his first homemade video playing a bunch of different kind of racial parts, because, oh, you're not white, oh, you're not black, oh, you're not this, like, you couldn't fit anything. You know, some of the movies, like Pitch Black, like, you know, come on, like, cool stuff. Like, I wish you could have had a little more creative control and done some cool stuff. Number 9, Harsh Times, 2005, with Christian Bale and Freddie Rodriguez. Christian Bale, for a long time, was probably my favorite actor ever. You know, Equilibrium, that Vietnam POW movie, you know, so on and so forth. Playing killers like Hollywood likes to do as kind of like serial killer visualization stuff with a lot of blood and murder. Okay, next we're going to Dirty, 2005, available on Harsh Times on Pluto, by the way. So that one you do have to watch on Pluto. It's not available anywhere else that I know of. Next up is Dirty 2005, available on Tubi. This is the lowest rated, 5.5. It's kind of Cuba Gooding Jr., who I really like, and boy, he vanished for a long time, and you kind of wonder why, after winning an Academy Award, what did he not agree to do, or what did he freak out after he saw? I'm just saying, why did he disappear and then try to come back in some like really like C-level stuff later? But it was him kind of doing his Training Day impression. But Cliff Collins Jr., I guess, gave a very good, I haven't seen this one in quite a while, gave a good kind of realistic acting performance. So it might be worth checking out. Dirty, and it falls, I mean, these really fall in the timeline progression of how some of these corruption stuff was coming out in the LAPD at the time and things like that. Not, only the extreme cases am I really against it, like the guy that Denzel played, and once you start stealing, 85 pounds of cocaine or whatever it was and becoming a drug dealer, well, okay. And if you're roughing up some really, really nasty career criminals, I think, quite frankly, they had to do that in the time, with all the booze, and then later the crack cocaine that just happened to hit New York and LA. I wonder who brought all that crack in, guys, all that cocaine, and who was doing that? Gary Webb. Okay, next up we got Street Kings, Tubi, 2008. We got John Wick himself, Keanu Reeves, and Forrest Whitaker. 6.8. This is a very good movie. I've always recommended it as watching Dark Blue and then Street Kings. If you haven't seen Street Kings and you want to see early Wick Fu and you want to see like more gritty, realistic kind of gunfighting stuff, definitely check out Street Kings. Some cool IMFDM stuff you can find on that website in that movie as well. And Forrest Whitaker, Idi Amin, like the guy can act. I met Forrest Whitaker. I gave him my first Street Jiu-Jitsu DVD. My first Street Jiu-Jitsu, Combat Jiu-Jitsu. My first Combat Jiu-Jitsu DVD. When my Combat Jiu-Jitsu videos got 17 million views on YouTube. The first 60 little short self-defense videos, like 3 minutes each, on eHow, and I gave him that because I had worked Kali with his Kali or FMA instructor, and then he did a short-lived one-season spin-off. Was it CSI show? Criminal Minds spin-off show. And so I was in there, the bags and whatever, when the guy shows up to recruit him or whatever. I think it was the pilot, and we're doing stick fighting and stuff. So, I did talk to him and things like that later because of certain things in 2020, and I could see things that the way they were. Bit of a falling out because certain people are like talking about some other things that led to riots and whatnot, and I'm like, can't you tell that something's going on here with 2 different camera angles on 2 different days, and notes getting handed to officers that just suddenly arrived on the job or only worked 3 days that year, things like that. Not that we ever talk about alphabets being involved in things to destroy this country. So unfortunately, but you can see me doing some Kali stick work with I trained with the same instructor of Forrest Whitaker, and I did, like, he was happy to take my Combat Jiu-Jitsu like DVD compilation of all those 60 videos back in the day, and then a certain other Jiu-Jitsu guy took the Combat Jiu-Jitsu name. Okay, I'll keep going. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to be entertaining. Number 12, SIS, a TV movie / pilot, 2008, same year as Street Kings, 5.4, that had Peter Stebbing and Keith David. Keith David, of course, the voice of the Spawn cartoon, and in The Thing, and in They Live with Rowdy Piper. And one day while training at Groker's, I was the last guy there doing like hours and hours of training, and I look back like I'm on top of some one-side mountain or something, and I look up, and Piper and his kid that grappled with Gokar and Gene LaBelle and stuff were watching me, and got to talk to Piper on the way out. Not that Piper's in the movie, but Keith David is, so there we go. And number 13, available on Roku and YouTube and to watch, that goes to 2012, with Jake Gyllenhaal, 7.6 rated, and Michael Pena. He had that good LA Invasion movie with the aerial stuff that I see and have tons and tons of footage of, that like is mind-blowing? Okay. Guys, also you're going to want to, that's on Roku and YouTube. Also, you want to check out The Shield. Obviously, Michael Chiklis, my Greek brother. I did eat in a trailer with him, like, not next to him. He was tired. I was just like, hey, nodded at him, how you doing? That kind of thing. That was it. Training Day TV show I've never seen. It's hard to find. Bill Paxton, who I did have a nice conversation with. And instead of bringing up aliens, I brought up the True Dark, the vampire movie, and had a great conversation with him about that as he went off about the like stupid teenager vampire movies that were popular. It was like hilarious. I had this really long conversation with Bill Paxton, who, you know, Terminator, Aliens, and Predator. Yeah. It's kind of cool, right? That's only available on Fandango or Amazon Pay or Apple, maybe. That one's hard to find. Okay. Southland, Netflix, Michael Kuditz, Ben McKenzie from Gotham, and C. Thomas Howell. I actually was a background actor / EMT guy, lifting C. Thomas Howell up on the gurney and putting him in the ambulance over and over again all night long one. So I do remember working on Southland. And Bosch and Bosch Legacy, those are on Amazon Prime with Titus Welliver. I think that's how you say it. I've never seen Bosch. Let me know down below. It sounds like I need to check Bosch and Bosch Legacy out. So on Hoopla, guys, you got Colors, Dark Blue, and The Glass Shield. On Canopy, you got End of Watch. No commercials, guys. Totally free. Get your library card. Sign up. I just did it. Tubi, we get to check out Colors, Dark Blue, Extreme Justice, Rampart, Dirty, Street King, and the SIS pilot TV movie, which is hard to find. So Tubi's got most of the stuff for free. Amazon Prime and Prime Preview, we got A Man Apart, Bosch Legacy, and you can pay for Training Day. Unfortunately, that's the only one you got to pay for, guys. Pluto has really bad commercials, but it's the only avenue for Harsh Times and possibly for Internal Affairs as well. And on Netflix, you can check out all of Southland, which I think is worth going to check out. Of course, I started to rewatch The Shield a few months back. I need to get back into that on a different service now. And anyway, this is a little history through an LAPD gunfighter. And since you know I do a lot of the pew-pew action stuff and classic autos and classic revolvers, you get kind of a lot of that. It always seemed to me like Kurt Russell was really good, and Goldie Hawn, and I once had this extremely download like reality dream in another dimension, not nasty, with Goldie Hawn's daughter like living in Indonesia, multiple people renting a room in a house because the world had fallen apart and world economies and stuff. So who knows? And both of them have seen the UAP aerial stuff. So hopefully this was fun. I did babble a little too much. Had I not, it would have been more like 14 minutes. Probably would have been ideal. But it's my first time doing this. If you actually want to see something like this again, I do have ideas for other movies because I watch a lot of movies, right? And as a one-time actual professional actor and stuntman that, you know, was on different TV shows, look at IMDb, Daniel Cage Theater, where you can find my stuff, right? You can look at some reels on websites and stuff like that. Might want to check it out. So anyway, guys, be a good person. Go check out some of my other videos, please. Subscribe, do the things, look at my playlist, and I'll catch you mother lovers. On the flip side, Dan the Wolfman's Flicker Connection, LAPD edition. Kaboom.